Hello and welcome to These Blind Eyes 6580. Today I was planning on having a fitness oriented video. Today's the day I do push presses, Mondays. I was unable to figure out a way to rig up my camera to show how to do a push press, things of that nature, and to be honest, I'm kind of happy that I wasn't able to today because with all the pulled muscles I got in my right leg from my ankle up to my hip, it was a pretty disgusting performance. So instead, since I'm unable to do that today, what I do, there are certain pieces of equipment I use. I would like to talk about them and the benefits of them and the companies, things like that. One of the first things is I have a power lifting belt. It's not just a weight belt, it's a competition. It's only 4 inches wide. That's the limit for competition. So it's a 1/2 inch thick. It's 13 centimeters. So it's real thick. This belt weighs 5 pounds. So it's good and heavy. I do not always use it to the full potential. I get it to where it's halfway snug, but I don't go crazy tightening it down like powerlifters do when they're lifting hundreds and hundreds of pounds. You know, I like it for it's more psychological for me to know that I got it on and stuff like that, you know. So I'm focusing on what I'm doing instead of focusing on, you know, is my back going to give out. It's psychological for me, but it's an expensive belt too. Counting shipping and handling, I got it from House of Pain. Is the gym. It's out of Texas. It was counting shipping and handling, it was $110. Pretty expensive, especially on the income that I got on disability. However, the other weight belts you get at sporting goods stores and stuff like that, I have worn those out. So how many times are you going to spend $20 or $30 on a freaking weight belt and wear the damn thing out? This thing, you're not going to wear this out. If you're wearing this out, the Olympic Training Center is going to be buying your belts for you because you're just going to be a freaking hoss. So that's the weight belt. Let me see here. One of the other things that I use for push presses is this knee sleeve. I wear one on each leg. I've beat the hell out of my knees from all my years of wrestling, all the different times I've lifted, things like that. So this is preventative maintenance for me. They're not something that I would use for squats. They don't fit like that. They don't work that way for me. You know, they might for you, they don't for me. They have this Velcro strap and like a belt loop, an eyelet that it feeds through to tighten it up even more. What I get use out of these for, and I haven't done a whole lot of running lately, but it's good support for running. It's good support for the bounce that's needed for a push press. Now, the company I got this from is Inzernet. That's Inzernet, I believe. I can't see it well enough to tell, but it doesn't really matter to me because as nice as this has been for me so far, I think these cost me around $50 for the pair, which is one of the better deals out there when it comes to the knee sleeves I have found and researched. However, the company, when it comes to customer service, is the worst freaking company in the world. They send you an email to let you know that your order went through, but then they take the bold step of not including their customers in the shipping process. They don't let you know, they didn't let me know that my size was back ordered. And so after a week of not hearing anything, I called. And I was like, would you be able to send me an email with a tracking number so I could keep track of this? And they said, no problem. Guess what I never got from them? 3 days later, I got the knee sleeves in the mail. Wrong size. So I call them, send them back, and I was like, could I please get an email to keep me up to date on what's going on with the process? Oh, no problem. Guess what they never sent me? Never sent me an email. So I called back like 10 freaking days later. And I'm like, yeah, I was supposed to get all these emails. Oh, I'm so sorry. They're like, due to the weather, there's been a holdup in their shipping. and they're like, do you want us to give you the tracking number? And by this point, it's like, you know what? You're lucky I'm not canceling the order. So, like I said, I've had good luck with it as a product, but I will never buy another thing from them. My customer experience with them was so bad, I screw them. They can go to hell for all I care. So that's the knee sleeves. The other thing that I use when it comes, and I use this for bench press, I use them for my overhead push presses, and that's wrist wraps. When you start going heavier, because right now my max is 295 on my overhead push press. My reps for my sets of 5 a couple weeks ago was 256. I was supposed to be at 272 today for sets of 3. I got sets of 1 because just a crap day. But when you're holding that kind of weight on your chest with your wrist cocked back, that's a lot of stress on it. I'm doing rep sets over 300 pounds right now with bench. Also a lot of stress on the wrists. The thing is, too, I'm not going to compete, so I don't really give two shits what's legal as far as wraps, belts, things of that nature. I just really don't care. I mean, I talk about the legality of the 4-inch powerlifting belt, but when it comes down to it, I don't really care. It's what's going to work for me. Now, these wrist wraps are Rogue Fitness, and unlike Internet, they actually have excellent customer service. They have a thumb loop on it, which makes it easy to wrap them up. They are an elastic, and these are their white series. I have a black series, the white series that came out later, and it's actually 30% stiffer, so you can gain more support out of it. What I like about them is you can make it as tight as you want, or you can just a little bit of support, depending on what you're doing. You know, I really like that feature with them. Not exactly a big fan that they sponsor CrossFit, but that you know, that's another story. They're a business, they got to make their money, and they're making a ton of it by sponsoring CrossFit, while all the posers are out there freaking doing it while it's a big fad. So, but other than that, the wrist wraps are excellent quality as far as I'm concerned. They last anywhere. The black series was lasting me around 4 to 6 months. The white series lasts me anywhere from 6 to 9 months, so and they cost the same. Whether you buy the white series or the black series, they cost the same. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's like $22.50 to have these 24, they're either 18 or 24 inch, don't recall which, but to have them shipped to me. So that's a pretty good price, you know. That, and I don't take the best care of them. So I get done working out, I roll them up. And that keeps the moisture in, doesn't allow them to dry out. So they're probably not going to last as long, you know. But then again, the Velcro, it's going to wear out too. But I'd still advise it if you're going to do any heavy lifting. It's real good for that. Real good for that. So those are the things that I use when it comes to lifting. The only other thing I use are fraction weights. And I guess I could dig them out of the bag real quick. Because once you get so heavy, the thing is you're not going to be able to make 5-pound jumps. I know it sounds crazy, but when you start doing maxes and things like that, you're not going to be able to do 5-pound jumps. You may only be able to go up a pound. But for those who lift at gyms, they know that the smallest increment you can increase is 5 pounds, because the smallest weight that they have there is a 2.5-pound plate. It's like in the gym, you call it a cookie. So you can only go up by 5 pounds. So I bought these fraction weights on Amazon. It was $50, and total they weigh 5 pounds. So per pound, they're pretty expensive. But that's the thing. These things aren't going to go bad. And there's red ones here. I just know they're red because that's what I was told. They're 1 pound. The 3/4 pound ones are blue. Green ones are a 1/2 pound. And then these white ones are a 1/4 pound apiece. So you can go up in an increment as small as 1/2 pound. So it works out real nice. It works out real nice for, that's how I was able to do that when I was talking about 272 today for what I was supposed to be repping and only getting sets of 1. I had a red one on the end of each bar, you know, to add that extra 2 pounds, because sometimes you just need it, you know. So that, I consider it a good investment. That and the belt, they're pretty expensive, you know, I'm not going to lie. But the belt and the weights, they're going to be a one-time buy. You're not going to have to replace the belt or those weights. Like I said, if you're that big of a hoss, then guess what? The Olympic Training Center is going to be buying your equipment for you, and you ain't going to have to buy shit. So that you're going to have all kinds of sponsors wanting to give you products. So, but that's stuff that I use. That's the stuff that I would suggest to anybody that's wanting to lift heavy. So I hope you find this information useful, especially in regard to the companies and stuff that provide this equipment. So if you enjoyed the video, please share it. I hope you subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions for me directly in regards to what I do in the gym, this kind of stuff, as far as the products I use, email me directly at littlemb6580@gmail.com. That's LITTLE, M as in Mike, B as in Bravo, 6580 @gmail.com.